The ownership of a firearm is a tradition older than the country itself. Is it time for change, or should things stay the same? You will soon find out that this is a very controversial topic. There isn't a clear black or white side. It's a lot of gray area. They intermingle to create what we have currently. Gun laws will change a lot during the time as new generations come along and their new ideologies come along with them when they're up to vote for senators, presidents, congressmen, stuff like that. I personally believe that gun laws are fine as they are and that they shouldn't be built upon. But a lot of people do disagree with this. I will be sharing my beliefs, my ideology, and my way of thinking with y'all, as well as addressing some of the opposing point of views and criticism towards wanting less gun laws or gun laws to stay as they are. The first point that people will bring up when you're talking about gun ownership is it's my right. This is true. This right is given in the Second Amendment of the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. This was put in by our founding fathers and was put as such an importance that it had to be protected, along with rights such as the freedom of speech, freedom of religion. This is mainly in part to the fact that they themselves had to take up arms to fight against their tyrannical leaders. But guns aren't all about wars. In fact, 2/3 of gun owners list protection and safety as a reason for buying a firearm. Firearms aren't just weapons. They're a defense mechanism as well as a deterrent to criminals. In fact, the NRA, or the National Rifle Association, says that there's at least 2.5 million cases a year of people using firearms in self-defense. This means that there's 2.5 million reasons why gun control laws shouldn't be built upon. While on the other side of the spectrum, people will argue that if there was more gun laws, gun-related crimes would decrease. In theory, this sounds accurate, possible, but in reality it plays out a lot differently. In fact, states who pass concealed carry laws see a decrease in multiple victim shootings of 84%, and deaths related to those crimes see a decrease of 90%, while injuries see a decrease of 82%. This goes to show that not everything that is sound in theory is actually doable in real life. Let's take a look at a country with a lot stricter gun laws, like Mexico. Obviously, they're our neighbor, we share a lot of characteristics with them, and most of y'all know either someone who is from Mexico or that they themselves are from Mexico. So Mexico has a lot stricter gun laws. There's mainly two groups who own firearms in Mexico. You have law enforcement agencies and criminals with ties to organized crime. In this scenario, the ones who are left out are law-abiding citizens. The ones that are affected by it are law-abiding citizens. Because criminals will find a way to purchase these weapons illegally. If you make more gun laws, they'll just find other ways to avoid them and still obtain their firearms. So the only ones that are left out and affected by this are law-abiding citizens who just want protection. Another point made by them is that just because the right is protected doesn't mean that the right is unlimited. I believe this. Like, I agree with this fact, as it was ruled so in the Supreme Court in 2008, saying that the right to own firearms isn't unlimited. Obviously, they ruled that felons and mentally ill can own firearms, which I completely agree, as well as you can't take a firearm into a school or into a government building. These are things I completely agree with, but I don't believe that your everyday law-abiding citizen should be affected by these. Someone who had a mistake in their younger days shouldn't be denied the right to purchase a firearm decades later. I don't believe that this is a representation of the Second Amendment or a way in which the Second Amendment was put into action. I hope that this just makes you think a little bit more about why gun laws shouldn't be built upon and the effects that they could have on your everyday lives, and just makes you look for more information why gun laws shouldn't be built upon. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great rest of your night.